What's up, guys? So this is my risk race build for next format. Like I said, I released another build, but I didn't think it was that good because I'd done more testing. And after my testing, I think this is a really, really effective way of playing risk race. So I'm going to quickly run through my ratios and stuff. I'm going to show you one or two very basic combos. I'll have a longer combo video out later on, but I just want to get as much content on the ground for you guys to kind of sink your teeth in and let's really dominate with risk race this format. So yeah, to start off with, we're playing the 1 airlifter, 2 hydrant. I'm only playing 2 hydrant now because you have so many copies of hydrant in this build. You have 3 wanted, you have 2 populous, you have 3 bonfire, you have 1 witch, and then you have the 2 hydrant itself. That's like 12 copies of hydrant. You don't need more because you're original sinful plus anything else as well. And 1 hydrant doesn't do a lot unless it's special summoned, and so I don't really want to open hydrant ever. Like I'd rather open something else, and because of that I just really feel like 2 hydrant is more than enough. Now I've cut impulse just because you have a lot of pushes in this deck and a lot of other things you can do, and so because of that it makes it a lot less important. I wouldn't say it's like mandatory cuttable, like it's really up to you, but for me I don't really need impulse. I don't think it's there, and I'm also not playing a lot of hand traps, so I'm not playing attacker. Then I'm playing 2 populous. So why do you play the 3-2 ratio? I know a lot of people probably know this, but I'm still going to bring it up. The reason why you play 3-2 is if you play 3 bonfire and 1 populous, that is good. However, you still have, I think it's a 14% chance of bricking where you draw that 1 populous. If you play 2 populous and 3 bonfire, then the only way you brick is if you draw both, which you only have a 2% chance of drawing. So you're basically reducing your chances of bricking by about 10%, bricking on bonfire specifically, which is why you play 3-2 ratios a lot of the times when it's like the engine cracks if you draw just one of those bricks. So that's why you're playing the 2 populous there. But you can kind of, if you only want to spend money on 1 populous, that's fine as well. But the optimal way is definitely to play the 2. Then moving on from there, in terms of hand traps, playing Ash, Droll, Imperm, that's it. Hand traps are not that good. Ash is not even that good next format. Like, you don't really want to Ash 1 to deck sometimes because if they have another push, which they will because they have so many 1-card starters, you get punished. You've given them a free body for Heater to build into Princess and Amblo well, so Ash is not even that good sometimes, but you're still going to play it because it's good against other decks and it's good against other things. Imperm, again, it's just good as a 6th card. But then we really look at Super Poly and Talents as like the king cards. These cards are so powerful next format. Like, I can't see a deck that I'm not main decking 3 Super Poly in. And if I'm playing a wanted deck, I'm definitely main decking 3 talents, because the thing about Super Poly is that a lot of the times your opponent is going to be ending on a fire monster. Even if they only end on 1 monster, it's going to be a fire monster a lot of the times. And so because you're playing a fire deck, you'll do something like normal summon airlift or normal summon hydrant. They try and trigger an interruption, and then you just activate Super Poly, and now you're so far ahead. So you definitely 100 and a billion% definitely want to play Super Poly. I think main deck it's crazy, and if they end on more than 1 monster, then you definitely win. Like, you just rattle them. Talents as well, like, your opponent has to hand trap you early now, because if they hand trap you late, and I'll show you how, if they hand trap you late, you just dodge their interruption, and so because of that, like, they're going to have to burn their ashes, their imperns and stuff very early in your combo, which means you're going to get to talents them, and then you're going to get to play anyway because you have plenty of other pushes. So yeah, those 3-3. Then moving into the side, that nothing else in the main deck is that different. We're playing the same numbers. I would say, just as a little caveat, by the way, Reinforce is a lot better. You have, again, so much more extra consistency and so many more pushes that you can play Reinforce again if you want to in Rescue. So I'm still not playing because I don't think it's needed, but it is good again. Like, it's playable again. Now, in the side deck, so we're playing the 3 Bell. Bell's just good. Like, it's nice. It hits everything. It hits Labyrinth, which is going to be a bit annoying. Hits Branded, which is going to be popular and good. And then it also hits the wanted deck. So Bell's really nice. Nib is a very good card. However, for me, I always like Nib when I'm going first. And I've built a board, which is why it's in the side deck. I'm playing 2 Cyclone, 2 Dark Ruler, 2 Storm. The thing is, I'm finding Dark Ruler to be very relevant against the decks that want to shift to me. So this is the Exo Sisters, this is the Kashtiras, this is the Flunders. These decks, a lot of the times, they're going to shift to you and then put a lot of annoying monsters on board. And I find Dark Ruler actually does help in those situations. So, and again, I do think you have a lot stronger ability to clear boards than before. Like, before, you would really struggle to clear boards relevantly. Now you can Dark Ruler and then just do Fire Link plays and clear your opponent's board really nicely. Then I'm playing 3 Soul Release. I'm not sold on Soul Release, I'll be honest. Everyone's telling me it's really good. I'm going to leave it in there, but I would say that from my experience, I've never soul released someone and thought, whoa, I've won now. It's just like, I've killed your recursion, but you've still got a million cards on board that I have to out, and I've just wasted one card to beat your turn like 4. But it's like, I don't even know if I'm surviving my turn now. So yeah, soul release is there, but I don't know if it'll stay. I think I'd rather just play evenly or something. Then moving into extra deck, I'm actually taking out extra Draco Quest because I think it's crap. I don't know why it's there. But yeah, so extra deck, like I said, I'm playing Supoli because I think Supoli is absolutely fantastic next format. So what are we doing? Okay, so we've got the Mud Dragon and Garura because they're good. Good Supoli targets, the only ones you need. We've got the Typhon and the SPs because, again, good cards. Now, I'm not playing Zelantis. I'm not playing the Salad Link for... and the reason being is I just don't think you need them. Like, personally, I haven't had troubles OTKing people. I do think they're good cards, but I one of two things happens in almost every game I'm playing. I either overwhelm them with advantage and they just scoop, or I can access code OTK. It's never really come up that I struggle to kill my opponent, and for that reason, I think that while Zelantis is good, while what's the other one called? The Salad Link 4 are good. I don't think they're mandatory. I think you can play fine without them and you'll still kill people. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something I'm missing. But yeah, play the one Princess and the one Ambler. Well, this combo is very nice. You're going to be ending on this or Heat Soul a lot. I think Appaloosa's okay, but a lot of the times you're just not going to be able to make it, which is why it's not in this build anymore. We've got the Charmers. The Charmers become so much better next format because obviously, again, any Charmer now is Princess and Princess is Ambler. Well, so yeah, the Charmers are so much better. We still have Masquerena, but I'm not really ending on Masquerena anymore. I'm almost always ending on Heat Soul or Amblowell. And then it's like, yeah, Linkuriboh just for making Heat Soul, and because it's a good Link 1. I don't play Anima because I don't think good players play into it. Sunlight Wolf because it's just an unfair card, and then it also gives you the ability to make your Heat Soul, which is nice, and Celine to facilitate Charmers. So we're going to quickly go through one or two combos just to show you guys the kind of cool things you can do with Rescues now. So let's right, guys. So I'm going to show you the standard combo when you open Bonfire. So Bonfire, I'm going to activate this. This is going to search for your Snake Eyes Populace. Then via its own effect, it's going to trigger, summon itself, and search for original simple spells. There's another effect on field to summon. It's not one effect. Then from here, you do need to be very, very careful. I always forget to do this step, but it's actually super important for the combo. You make Linkuriboh, and then Populace is going to trigger and put itself in the scale. They can't bell this, so if your opponent tries to bell that, tell them no, because it's not summoning itself, it's putting itself in the spell and trap zone. You're going to use original simple spells here and summon Rescue Ace Hydrant. Hydrant is then going to trigger on the field, and you're going to search for Airlifter. And then from here, you're going to normal summon your Airlifter, and your Airlifter is going to search for alerts. Now, if you already have alerts and you already have emergency, for example, then you probably want to search for rescue. That will help you play around Nibiru. But here I'm going to search for alert because we don't have any other cards in our hand. Then I'm going to use my effect of alert, and that is going to search for turbulence. And then if you already have turbulence, you search for preventer. That helps you play around Nibiru as well. Then from here, you're going to make an SP Little Knight, and this is where the new cards have so much of a big effect on the Rescue Ace deck now, because before, you make SP here, and you summon Turbulence, but if your opponent imperms you here, unless you had an extender, like, they're stopping the set 4, whereas now, you summon this, if your opponent imperms this Turbulence on summon, you just go, sure mate, and then you make your Link 3, Promethean Princess, resummon Turbulence, and then just use this effect anyway. So yeah, you play really effectively around Imperm in this build now. So you're going to use your Turbulence effect, you're going to set 4 cards, so Extinguish, Contain, Emergency, and Rescue. I'm going to set all 4 of those. Then you have a couple of different routes from this stage. Now, in my opinion, this is probably the best route to use. And so from here, you use your Linkuriboh and your SP Little Knight to make your Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess is going to resummon out your Snake Eye Populace. And then from here, you make Sunlight Wolf with Turbulence and Promethean Princess. And then you're going to resummon your Linkuriboh from the grave now. Linkuriboh is going to go into Sunlight Wolf's column. Then you're going to use Sunlight Wolf's effect to add the Turbulence back to your hand. Then from here, you make a Heat Soul. So what have you ended on? I think this board is just absolutely fantastic in terms of the amount of resources. So Heat Soul is going to draw you 1 card, and then it's going to draw you another card in your opponent's turn. So you've ended on 3 extra cards in hand, 4 cards set, and you've got the Princess pop, which is great. You're going to immediately emergency on your opponent's turn. The first thing is you're going to want to do is use emergency, and that's going to trigger, summon something from the deck, whatever you want to summon, and then also put like an airlift or hydrant on board, which is really, really, really nice. So yeah, I mean, so much advantage. You've got like 4 interruptions here. Now there are slight modifications. So for example, if you don't want to end on Heat Soul, if we walk back the combo a little bit to when we had Promethean Princess on board and Turbulence on board. Yeah, so we walk back the combo to here. You can instead end on Amblowell. Amblowell is a really, really good card to end on. I do think it's better to end on just one monster next format, just because I think Super Poly is going to be really popular. And if you end on this board, you do run the risk of getting Super Polyed and just losing. So that is something you have to keep in mind. But Amblowell is still a good card to end on. So why is this great? Well, what's going to happen is your opponent, if they normal or special summon a card, you're going to trigger your Promethean Princess to special summon out your Amblowell and pop their board. But then what's even nicer is if they pop this card, Amblowell has an effect in Grave where if a Link 3 or lower monster if a Link 3 or lower monster on the field is destroyed by a card effect while this is in your grave, you can banish this from your grave and destroy 1 card in the grave. So if they destroy this, you get to destroy another card. And also, when this card is destroyed, it actually can summon a card from the grave. So you can, for example, summon out your Sunlight Wolf or your SP Little Knight with Amblowell, but you do have to order your chains correctly. But yeah, I think Amblowell is quite a good card to end on, but I prefer the Heat Soul board just because it ends on 1/5 monster and it's less weak to Super Poly. But that's your standard Rescue Ace combo. This is the combo I would say you're going to be going into most of the time when you open Bonfire. Now, if you open Wanted, I'm going to do Reset Deck because this is slow as heck. If you open Wanted, the combo is fairly similar. The only disadvantage of Wanted is that you have a little bit less extra bodies than you would like if you opened Bonfire. So Wanted is good still, so you're going to be Wanted, doing it in the draw phase to play around draw. Then your Wanted is going to trigger, so you're going to Dear Bellstar, and also Wanted does need a discard. Like that's another disadvantage of Wanted compared to Populous. Like Wanted needs a discard, Bonfire does not. You're going to use Wanted's effect, then from here you're directly summoning out your Hydrant. Hydrant is searching your Airlifter. So as you can see, the combo here is basically identical in the middle. It's just slight differences on the start and a little bit less bodies. You don't have the 1 extra body you would have if you started with Populous instead. So Airlifter searches for Alert. Alert's going to go to Grave when it searches for Turbulence. Then from here, the other thing is, well, it's a little bit harder to play around, what's that card called? Imperm, because it's like the standard combos you were doing before. So you're going to, from here, you can make Sunlight Wolf, you can make Masquerena, you can make SP, it really depends on what you want. You can even make, you can even make SP Little Knight here as well for the same reason. But yeah, you're doing the standard thing, banishing these 2, summoning out your Turbulence. Then from here, you're going to use your Turbulence effect to set 4. So this is Extinguish, Contain, Rescue, and Emergency. And then from here, I would still recommend extending. I do think it's worth, because you have to remember, even if they nib your Princess is a good card even in the grave. So I do think it's worth extending into your Princess. So you use Princess's effect, you're going to re-revive your Turbulence. And then you are going to end on Amblowell. So what you ended on him before, the difference is you can't do the Heat Soul line if you start with Wanted unless you have extra extenders, but you're still ending on Amblowell, which is really nice. You're still ending on follow up next turn. Next turn this does generate a +2 because you can draw straight away, but I always save it for next turn personally. But yeah, your Wanted and your original is going to generate a +2, and you've got your set 4. You're still ending on loads and loads and loads of cards. So Wanted is still just as good, just not as good as Bonfire. But yeah, guys, those are your 2 most basic Rescue Ace combos. I'll release a video with some more complex combos and other cool things you can do and other little techs. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.